News coming in right now. Politics over Sengol as BJP hits out at the Congress. BJP says Congress showed disdain to Hindu rituals. BJP says Sengol tucked away by Nehru in Anand Bhavan. Sengol was termed a stick as it was given to Nehru is what the BJP has said. Remember yesterday, the Union Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah announced that the Sengol, which was used as part of a transfer of power ceremony in 1947 from the British to the first Prime Minister of the country, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, will now be in fact reinstalled in the new Parliament complex next to the Speaker's podium by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on May 28th is now the subject of controversy. Rahul Gautam is joining us live on this. Rahul, controversy that has broken out after the BJP accused that the Sengol was tucked away by Jawaharlal Nehru in Anand Bhavan.
Well, it seems that the BJP is trying to connect the two things. We all know that Anand Bhavan is the ancestral home of Nehru Gandhi family. It was earlier held by Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, and obviously the BJP is now trying to create this narrative that how Sengol was deliberately tucked away, in this Anand Bhavan, so that people could forget about the rich traditions and about the glory of our nation. In fact, if you remember, Mr. Jairam Ramesh is also tweeting on this issue, saying that that BJP is only trying to politicize this entire issue, and in fact he also said that Sengol was in fact gifted to Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru when powers was transferred from British Union to Indian Union. And obviously, it was a very important piece of Indian history. But BJP is trying to politicize it. We all know that how the BJP leaders are connecting it with Tamil traditions, with Indian subcontinent traditions, and obviously the BJP is trying to create a narrative that how Congress party has always been anti-Hindu and anti-Indian glory. So obviously it seems that this is certainly going to become another issue of face-off. But one thing is very important here, the BJP is keeping this narrative pretty simple, that Sengol was deliberately tucked away by Congress leaders at Anand Bhavan, which is the ancestral home.
Rahul, just stay on with us. Amit Malviya of the Bharatiya Janata Party is over the phone line with us right now. The Congress is saying that you're twisting things out of context. The Sengol was given to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. It was kept at Anand Bhavan, the ancestral home of the Nehru Gandhi family.
It is not the personal property of Jawaharlal Nehru that it should have been in the family museum. It is an instrument that symbolizes transfer of power. It is something that is intrinsic to India's history. It should have been in the parliament. Now, on the 28th of May, the Prime Minister will install it in the Parliament and ensure that it is in the rightful place. Let's not reduce India to being Nehru Gandhi family's heirloom. We aren't. We are much larger than Nehru Gandhi Parivar. And what is this walking stick that the Anand Bhavan Museum had its call? Is it a walking stick meant for Nehru? Is that how something as important as a Sengol should be treated by the Congress, by the Nehru Gandhi family? I mean, I am appalled at the fact that they have the audacity to even defend something as bizarre as this.
Okay, so you're saying that the Sengol, which was in fact a symbol of transfer of power from the British to independent India, was insulted by Pandit Nehru?
Absolutely. Not just insulted, it was erased from our public memory. That was the moment, that ritual of vesting of power was when India got independence. And imagine somebody like Lord Mountbatten actually had to ask Nehru that merely shaking hands is not enough. We need to have a spiritual process of transition. And that is when he turned to Rajagopalachari, who advised that something like this has been in practice in Chola kingdoms and can be used on an occasion as big as this. And that is when the Sengol was brought in from Tamil Nadu. The priest flew in, they conducted the ceremony, there were verses, the Shiva hymns that were recited, and then the transition of power had. Now this spiritual moment in India's history is of immense significance, and the Congress party has reduced it to being a walking stick for Nehru, as if Nehru was some godman who needed a gold walking stick. Is that what Senegal is supposed to epitomize? Is this the Congress's understanding of ancient India and our rituals and our procedures?
Okay, Mr. Malviya, thank you so much for joining us on India Today. So that is what the BJP has to say, that this was clearly a case of insult which was meted out to the Sengol, which is so symbolic of what happened in 1947 in terms of India attaining independence and the transfer of power that happened from the British to independent India. Let's listen in to the famous jewelers from Madras who in fact had crafted this iconic Sengol, which will now be placed in the new Parliament building.
I also got to hear, know about a story that in Allahabad Museum, this particular Sengol was actually mentioned to be the Prime Minister Nehru's walking stick. Is that so?
I don't know. I've seen photographs of it. But mistakes happen. That's what you and I are for, right? Media is there to correct it, and you have somebody else to see that it is restored to its past glory. So let's forget about it. It was kept safe and sound, and we are getting it back to its original prominence. That's what we are all about.